I'm Ariana Grande.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Erivo.
And you're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network.
Visit vpn.fm to discover more.
There's a cat over here. There's a cat over there. And the wrong one died. And the wrong one died.
Welcome to The Wrong Cat Died, the podcast breakdown of the catastrophe. I'm your host, Mike Abrams, and today we have another amazing guest. He's been in various productions of Cats as a performer, choreographer, director, and all kinds of roles since 2006. But most recently, he was an assistant to the infamous Chrissie Cartwright in the 2025 Australian tour. So welcome, Tommie Luyben, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very, very honored. Thank you.
You were a name that when I was talking to people, you know, in the Jellicle world of like, who do you have to talk to because they know so much, your name came up all the time.
Oh gosh.
So I'm so glad that we have you here, and we're gonna go through because you performed. You know, you've performed many times. You've helped, I think, with choreography. You've helped with telling the story. You've helped with Chrissie. So we'll get to all of this. I want to hear all these different experiences, but I want to start with your history with the show. Like, when was the first time you saw it?
I think, the first time I saw it, I was in it. So that's the very
So you never
first
saw
time.
it before?
Well, I did see the VHS, but I think there's a bit of history before the VHS, because when I was young, I think like eight or nine, it was like the mid-90s. My mom bought me at a local drugstore this CD, and I think it was Andrew Lloyd Webber, because it had like Any Dream Will Do on it, and Don't Cry For Me Argentina, and all of those like Webber bangers. And there was Memory on it, which didn't really resonate with me back then because I wasn't a big ballad fan. But it also had Magical Mr. Mistopheles on it. And I was like, ooh, what's this song? It sounds very magical. Like, oh, Cats. I'm like, oh, I didn't really know it. And then at the local library, they had the London cast recording, the original cast recording of Cats. So I got that one for a week, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? Yeah. And especially with, I think, the opening, like Jellicle songs for Jellicle Cats, it has this like magical quality to it. It's very, I don't know, I felt very overwhelmed and like, what is this? And at the library, they also had this book of Cats, the musical, and it had a lot of pictures in it. So I just made up in my mind, like, kind of what it could be. It was very, because also the musical is very conceptual. I couldn't really grasp what it was, but it was just this little thing to it. And then years later, the VHS came. And also because back then there wasn't really YouTube, or there wasn't really that much available of live theatre unless you went to the theatre and watch it. So I got the VHS, and it mesmerized me. Like, it was because I was already in dance school by then, like a high school dance school. And it was great to see all this talent of these performers and singing and dancing and being Cats. And I remember, like, what's her name? Jo Bingham playing Etc. And she was my favorite. And she was this electrical, exciting cat. And I was like, ooh, she. And you got Vienna playing Jemima. And she was also so mesmerizing. And the internet was still quite new back then. And then I used to go on the internet and be like, ooh, Cats. And to watch the performers out of makeup, that was also really odd for me to see. To see those performers being a full makeup or full wigs, and to see them as human beings. So I think that's when the spark really, really started. So
yeah.
I was just...
So you had the CD to the cast album, to the London cast album, to then the VHS. So you were very familiar with it. You just had not seen it live on stage until you were in it.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you get cast in 2006.
Yes.
As a swing. And the only way it's written in here is it just says Dutch tour.
Yeah.
So tell me about that production.
I love that production. I think I just graduated, so it was fun. It was my dream show, and I just graduated, and it was my dream come true. And I was like, I'm in Cats, and there was so many people in that production that wanted to be in Cats, who've been in the profession for years and years and years, and Cats wasn't around in Holland for at least 10 or more years, and it was like, their final goal to have to be in Cats. So everybody really wanted to be in that production. So I was very, very happy to be part of it. And we just toured throughout the whole of Holland. So we would go with a bus every day from Amsterdam to all the cities in the Netherlands, back and forth. So it was a lot of being in a bus every day. So I think we would go depart around 3 in the afternoon, and then we would arrive at the theater and eat and do the makeup and everything, and then after the show we went back with the bus and be home at I think 1:30.
Yeah.
So it was hard, but it was fun. We had 5 Quizabellas, which was quite 5 first class Quizabellas who would alternate, which was quite remarkable. And for the opening night one, Anita Meijer, she's a famous pop singer in Holland. They changed the key from memory, especially for her, and I think it was the first time ever in Cats history they changed the key from memory. So that was a big thing.
Yeah. So was this in English or Dutch?
This was in Dutch.
Okay.
It has a beautiful translation by Gerrit Komrij. And the great thing about this, it's a beautiful translation, by the way. It's made even before the show was made, because he just translated the original poems by T.S. Eliot. And,
interesting.
And they translated also all the names. So all the Cats names had Dutch names, and all the references were all Dutch references. So Mungojerrie and Rumpelteazer were in the park here somewhere in Amsterdam. So they tried to make it very, very Dutch.
So that's really cool. So they already had the names translated. They had a little bit of the story, not completely, but just more localized. So I'm assuming, like you said, Mungojerrie, Bus for Jones maybe has some different pubs or, different clubs. But so then you've done it in Dutch, and then the next stop is in German, and then you've done it in English. Is there any other language you're tackling here? Are those the 3?
Well, I've never performed it in English. I've
never performed it.
It's still on the list.
You've just helped with the directing the English version.
Yeah, I know all the English lyrics, of course, but I've never performed it in English. Now I would love to, but not only in Dutch and German so far.
Okay, so you do this Dutch tour. You're swing. You cover a bunch of the Cats, and then you have a break, a Jellicle break, and then you come back and the German tent tour, and you do it in German in 2010 and 2013. Is that that's what I have here?
Yeah, that's correct. Well, I auditioned for the German tent tour, and then after the first round, I made it through the next one. Yay! But I got another offer to do We Will Rock You in the Netherlands. And I was like, oh, well, I've already done Cats, so maybe I should just, We Will Rock You sounds fun, and let's go. So I did that. And then at one point, doing We Will Rock You, I got a call, and they were like, Tommie, we can't find a Mungojerrie. Are you interested? Do you want to come and audition? And I was like, oh, yeah, so as a swing with the cover. And they were like, no, first cast. And I was like, oh my God, Mungojerrie is still my dream role. So they flew me to London, which I felt so important. I mean, because usually when I audition, I have to pay so much money to fly everywhere. But they flew me to London, so I felt like the king. And to audition for Chrissie, and then, I got the part. And the great thing about it, the girl playing Rumpelteazer, Marleen de Vries, she was with me in college. We were in the same year. So she was a great friend of me. And it was like, oh my God, I got Mungojerrie. So we got to be together, which was great.
How difficult is it to, you're doing the show, it in Dutch. It's not exactly the same, and like you said, it in English. How hard is it to switch to to performing it in German?
I think because it's not my native language, I think the hard thing is the pronunciation. Because it's, also, when I was in high school, German was not my favorite subject. So it was quite hard. So we got lessons to, phonetic lessons. So I spent a lot of time with a cork in my mouth, trying to get all the words out right. So I think that's a hard thing about doing it in the language that's not so familiar, that it doesn't come naturally. You really have to think of the phonetics a lot, and it's quite hard, to be honest. Yeah.
So you do Mungojerrie, and then you have a little bit of time off, and then you come back as Skimbleshanks.
Yes. It's true.
So, yeah.
No, I was lucky somebody left, and I think
someone left, you come back.
And I was like,
okay.
So I was allowed to come back as Skimbleshanks. Yeah, I was very lucky with that one.
Yeah, because you've already done it as a swing. Like that was part of your cover from the Dutch tour.
Yeah.
And then you've got another couple-year break, and then you've got the Vienna revival.
Yeah.
Which is also in German, right? I believe. So it's, you're just bringing back your German. Yeah, because you've never done it in English.
No.
So it's also in German. And then you're a swing here, and you're covering, from what I've seen, almost every cat.
Basically, yes.
Including one that had a name that I did not recognize on the thing here, which I'm assuming is maybe part of Peaks and Pollicles. I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's Deschingus?
Oh, Jengus. It's
Jengus? That's okay. Jengus.
It's not that elaborate. It's the little part that Choreographat does in the Siamese section. So you got the whole got the theater cat with the aria and Growl Tiger, and then Growl Tiger you got a character called Jengus, and that's what Choreographat does.
That has not been in most of the production I've seen anymore. So that's why I was like, I saw the name on there, and I was like, I know everyone in the rest of these. Like I know Bill Bailey and Carbuckety, and but you also covered both twins. So you covered Tantamile as well.
Yeah, it's just when they're girls, it's just like, what do we do? So then usually a boy plays Tantamile, or also sometimes it happens when a girl plays Choreographat. So you got two girl twins or two boy twins, which is quite fun to do. Actually, it's a fun thing.
So this is obviously sat down, but we're going through these parts quickly, and we can come back to like theories and relationships. But I really wanted to get to the most recent two, where you've been assistant director and assistant to Chrissie, because you're essentially going in and helping in the rehearsal room of like not just the dance, but also the storytelling, and you're working with a legend, in Chrissie Cartwright. So you do this in the Asia tour in 2022, and then you obviously did it recently in the Australia tour. What is that? I mean, what is that experience like? Like, you obviously know the show so well. You've done it multiple times, but now you're being brought in to teach the show, essentially, or like really help a lot of that stuff. What is the rehearsal room like? How much story are you telling? What are you doing? What are you bringing in before Chrissie or with Chrissie for those moments?
Well, I was lucky that Chrissie always does the big storytelling. Like you heard all about it. So what we did for those, because Chrissie is so good at it, and it's such fun to hear the story and all the background from her. So for both productions, we set up a video call to wherever she was. Probably one time she was in England, one time in Germany, so she could zoom in or like video call in to tell us, to tell the cast and everyone the story of Cats. So I never really did that. But it also depends on the cast a bit. Like there's you can guide them, you can give them like little bits of pieces of like what the story is and what the story can be about. But there's also a lot of like they have to do their own work and their own research and talk to each other to see what their connections are for this particular production and to see what their story is and their background story. And I think it's a beautiful thing about Cats that no production is the same, because every cast is different, which also means that every background story and every relationship to each other is different. So it's also a lot of guiding the cast to explore all these things.
Yeah, that's my dream is to hear Chrissie's version one time. Like, I just want to hear that.
It's the best
example. But when you're working on that and the cast is figuring stuff out, or in the other versions you've done and you figured it out, are there any like not rules, but anywhere it's like, hey, this one kind of has to be true. Like this has to be correct.
I mean, of course, you've got like the Macavity storyline and the relationship between Demeter and Macavity, and like the whole Grisabella storyline. That's kind of it's more that's more set, but also there's also a lot of for them to explore in that as well.
Yeah, as I say, it doesn't feel that. The only things that I feel like I have 100. Well, I asked this because it's my favorite part of the show. What I love about this show most is the ability for a performer, as someone who's not a performer, but the ability to kind of like really make assumptions or make changes or make adjustments that aren't going to change the show at all, but are still going to add to the plot. So if you're a super fan going for the 15th time, you might see a slightly different story today that's not dramatically changing the core of Cats. And that's what I love. But the only things that I know that I'm like, no one's ever veered from, and it's kind of funny and weird to me, is that Demeter and Macavity have an abusive relationship, and that Victoria is basically having her coming of age moment live on stage. And those are like the only two where it's like, that's not changing. Everything else is like, yeah, Grisabella could be mom. She could be this. She could have been with this person or with that. And she could be working with Macavity. Like there's even that storyline of the redemption arc is the same, but it still can be interpreted differently. And so that's kind of why I'm fascinated by the rehearsal process of where how much, like you said, you're only giving so much. You're giving them the straws to like let them go. And then it's up to them to figure out the rest. And for me, as someone who doesn't sing and dance, I'm sitting there only thinking about that. And then like the first time it hit me, I'm like, oh yeah, these people have to also like not kick each other when they're dancing, and like learning all this other stuff to make this show work. But is there, like, do you guide any of those conversations of like, let's say somebody comes up to you in Australia and is like, we're thinking about it this way. Let's just use Mungojerrie and Rumple Teaser. Like, we're thinking about it. Is there any guidance on like, they should be siblings, they should be lovers, they should be related to this? Or is it very much as long as you're playing the mischievous kind of 3 words and the other things, like, use your best judgment?
It's a good question. Like, I think there's a lot open to interpretation. And also to Mungojerrie Rumple Teaser, it's always hard because I don't want to put my interpretation, like stick it on the performers or my thoughts about it. And I think they should find something that works for them. So yes, so sometimes you try to guide it a tiny bit, but also not too much. So also, for instance, in Grisabella's storyline, what I did, like we sat down, I gave them homework. I was like, okay, listen, like think about your relationship with Grisabella, and also like, why did she leave the tribe? What happened? And also, is there anything that she done wrong to you? Are you heartbroken with her because of some reason? Or what have you heard? So they all had to think about it. And then for one rehearsal, we just sat around in a circle, and it was like, well, what are your thoughts? And it was such an interesting session. And I remember like we had to go into break. It's like, please, can we get half an hour longer? Because it was very interesting to hear what people came up with and what stories, and just feeding off each other. So,
but is there ever a no in that? Like, is there ever a, hey, that can't be, you can't play it that way?
I would never say no, but I would maybe say
guide them the other way.
Try to
maybe think about it this way. Is okay. I want to role play this. Let me give you a theory.
Gosh,
and I want you to tell me if you would be like, hey, let's maybe not. Okay. So this is one that I know is not written in lore, but it's one that I have concocted, and maybe it's now lore because I've said it enough times on the show. But one theory I have heard, and then this is where I'm going to piece stuff together, is that Grisabella and Jelly Lorem were friends, were very good friends before. And that there was also a potential that Grisabella Bustopher Jones and Jelly Lorem together. So my theory is that Grisabella actually cheated with Bustopher Jones with her best, like there's a love triangle and Jelly Lorem, and that's why she leaves the tribe. And then the reason Jelly Lorem gives up her opportunity to sing is not for Gus, but is to be an apology to Grisabella, saying that like, hey, we're gonna be okay. Like I'm welcoming you back. Like that's my kind of apology. Like let's this is water under the bridge. We're still best friends. Like let's be best friends, and that's why I want to bring you back. Would you look at me and be like, let's maybe make a different decision here? Or are you like, you know what? That's fine. That's not gonna really change much. Like that's a cool theory. Have fun with it. Just make sure you're in the right place and doing the right dance steps. I
would say I love that theory, and it's very interesting, and it's. Because the things with Cats, like as an audience perspective, the story is not that elaborate. I think it's important that the more the actual actors have their story of their version of the story and their interactions and their background, and it doesn't really matter what it is exactly, as long as it doesn't alter the outcome, the story, because then you see that there's something with Jerry Loring. You see there's something with Grisabella and the connection. And I think as an audience, you can't really grasp what it is exactly, but you know there's something going on. And I think that's the important thing, that the actor knows what the background story in that case is, as long as it kind of fits to the story, which in this case does. I would say go for it and explore it and just, make more out of it.
Was there any that you played differently between the different casts you had? Like where it was like, hey, we did this with this group and then this with this group, and those are kind of different that you remember?
Not really, I have to say. No. There were major things that were different. Also because a lot of the things are made up by the cast itself. So and you've got the structure, and you've got Chrissie telling the big stories in the big story arc, and all the characters have their own 3 words. And setting both productions up, there wasn't that much of a difference in there.
What's the wildest one that you've heard that you had to be like, maybe let's guide you a little differently here?
Well, a fun one was, I wouldn't say to put them in a different direction, but because all the previous productions I always did was always with an Electra, and there was an Electra character there. But for the Australian production, there was no Electra. There was just they didn't use, and it happens a lot, but it was for me the first time that I didn't have an Electra, and the whole time during rehearsals I was like, I'm so confused, how should I space this? Usually I have an Electra here, or what should I do with the girls? I'm missing a person, I'm missing an Electra, so I just keep mentioning it, how hard I thought it was to put up the show without an Electra. And then one of the actors came up with quite a fun, but also a bit of a macabre storyline that Macavity was it Grisabella? Was it? I think it was Grisabella. There was something with Grisabella or Macavity, and that she was the reason that Electra was killed by Macavity, and that's why we didn't have an Electra, because of Grisabella, Macavity kidnapped her or something, and now she's dead. It was very dramatic. So that was one moment. It was like, oh yeah. Oh, yeah, that's
I
interesting.
love that one.
That's interesting. I was like, why not? Why not?
I love that one because it has absolutely no bearing for the audience. Like, they don't know that Electra's missing unless they're like a super fan. And so there's nobody sitting in there being like, Macavity got this one, like that we don't even know. But that's fun for you all, because it's like, it is helping. Like, that's why this spot's not there.
Mm. Yeah. It was a wild one. It was fun. It was like, oh, that's creepy and spooky, but okay. Yeah, why not?
I mean, Macavity's whole storyline is crazy. Mm-hmm. Because there's a line in the lyrics that I always can't get over that says he's broken every human law, which means he's done a lot of bad things. Yeah. Like bad
he's
things.
A bad boy.
And so that is to me where it's like, you could tell me anything and I'd be like, yeah, Macavity did it. Mm-hmm. Like he's guilty.
Yeah,
and the fact that he has this bad relationship with Demeter. That's the only fact in this show. Mm-hmm. The only storyline we're not allowed to tweak is that one.
I mean, I think Macavity in itself is quite an interesting character because he's the epitome of all evil, which is, of course, very dangerous. But also, like almost all female cats are so attracted to him. So first you got like Bombalurina and Demeter singing a song about him, and then like, ooh, have you been with him? Ooh, you as well? And then you got all the kittens coming out, and they're like mesmerized but with what Bombalurina and Demeter are telling them. And then you also got Jelly Lorum coming on, and Jenny Elliot's coming on in Macavity and singing about Macavity, and So it's, I think, like, have you seen Game of Thrones?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I always think of him as a bit, what's his name? Carl Drago, what's his name?
Yeah. I know you're talking about.
The one who's with Daenerys, who's like, like very handsome and sexy and strong, but at the same time lethal and very dangerous.
Yeah.
So it has this very weird juxtaposition in that character, which is, I think, quite fun.
We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back for more of The Wrong Cat Died. It's also, it becomes like, as I dig into the family tree, and I'm like, is he brothers with Tugger and Mungojerrie? Is he son of old Deuteronomy? Like, then it gets even also another line where it's like, you've got the future leader of the tribe, the current leader of the tribe, and this like extremely bad character that does all this crime. It's like the son that gets in trouble, but then he kidnaps his own dad, and it's like there's just a lot to it when you really keep going in that storyline. And it's kind of fun too, because when you talk to the performers, it's like they're only in the Macavity suit for a very short period.
Yeah.
Like they're really not Macavity that long, but there's so much story to Macavity.
Yeah. I mean, because also his names get mentioned all the time for Act 1 and Act 2, and there's this big build up to Macavity. So it's it's a big build up to his appearance, and then he's finally there.
Was there any Dutch changes to the Macavity song?
As in, what kind of?
Like, you said that there were some Dutch tweaks to like so it's set more.
Yeah,
the poetry was changed.
He has a Dutch name. It's called Van Zonderen. So throughout the whole show, like Demeter would be like Van Zonderen, and he'd be like shaking our boots. I think
like, is he cheating at cards still?
Oh my god, what are the Dutch lyrics? I know he goes to the Interpol archief, which is like Interpol. I think it's like a secret agency thing in Holland. I don't really know, actually. I have to look up the Dutch words for that. I can't.
That's okay. I've never heard the Dutch version. So that's now I'm going to see if I can find some bootleg version to listen to it in Dutch.
We recorded the CD, so there should be.
There's one there. Okay, so there's a non-bootleg. I can find it.
Should be somewhere.
Okay. What haven't I asked you? Like, you're so familiar with the show. Like, what are the things that you're like, this Cat's audience that's listened to 200 plus episodes of different performers talking about the show? Mm-hmm. What are the things that you're like, they need to know, or the things that they might not be thinking about that having done this for so long?
Oh, that's a very hard question you ask me.
I want you to add to the lore. I want to break some news here with you.
What is it that the audience doesn't know? Well, there's a lot that the audience doesn't know, because sometimes I get friends in and they're like, I don't really know what was the show about? Like, what did I just watch?
Most of the audience has no idea when they walk out the first time.
I think, I'm not sure if this is an answer to your question, but I think just the audience has to go in with a very open mind. I always think of Cats as like a picture book, like a children's picture book come to life. And I also, like with Cats, it's always better to, when the auditorium is not too big, so when you sit in close, and you could really see the actors and the storyline between all the characters, and just go in with like an open mind and see, hey, do I relate to any of the cats? Do I relate to any of the storyline? Is there anything that I can grasp? Like, we've got this fear of Macavity. Like, you never know what's going to happen when Macavity's there, and like he can kill, or he can take someone, or I don't know what he will do. So we've got that part, and also with Grisabella, like, she basically got cancelled. It's like, I don't know what she's done, and that's what happens also on social media a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So to find. Like, how can we be more of a group, not group, but like together? Like, how can we find forgiveness in our hearts? How can we reconnect to each other? Because also, like, if you look at cats, it's like, oh, I'm this cat, I'm this cat. And then you got the ball, and then that one is showing off, and that one is showing off, and that one is showing off. And that's also how it is on Instagram nowadays. Like, oh, you got that person being funny, and that person being funny. So, yeah. I don't think this answers your questions at all. But I think, like, to an audience, when they go and watch Cats and just try to go in with an open mind and try to find how you relate to the story or how the story relates to.
Yeah. No, it's also really interesting that you kind of bring that up, because this is a show from the 80s. Mm-hmm. There's no social media in the 80s. And yet it's such a universally true story arc that can be viewed from so many different ways that it's very timeless. And that is part of why it's so successful, but also because there's the version you said, which is like it's a mirror of the world. And then there's a version where it's like, this also can just be a big family, and like they're just having some family drama, and it's not like Macavity's not really doing crime. He's just the one that's like maybe annoying your relatives at the event, and you got the crazy aunt that left that's now coming back, and you know, she kind of angered your mom, and that's why there's a little bit of a, do we really want to let her in today? And like there's that version of Cats too, where it's a little bit less dramatic. I love the extremes of that, because there's a version where I'm like, this is just crazy and bad, and there's a version where I'm like, this is fun, and that's why you can bring children to it.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect show with children. I always love playing matinees because there's so many children in it, and they're just mesmerized by all of it. While I think grown-ups tend to find more of a meaning of it, or like, what is the actual story, or children are just more, I don't know, mesmerized by the whole of it, I guess.
Yeah, it's there's a meme that I see all the time that pops up on social media that's like, I like talking to children more because no adults ever asked me my third favorite color.
Yeah,
you know, and so it's like, I do think there's like some joy in that, of like they're gonna go in and just appreciate the art and the costumes, and that they're cats and dancing around, and not try to, you know, like I walked out trying to figure out plot as an adult when I saw it, and I'm like, what happened? That's why we're here, because like if I didn't walk out making those deep assumptions and trying to like really figure out which cat was doing what, and who was like, why they brought her back and why they killed her, and you know, like what actually happened here at the end, like that doesn't happen if I'm 6. You know, if I'm 6, I'm like, I really like that one because they're white, or because they're, you know, they did the turns, or you know, like they were in the audience next to me, like the, you know, there's a lot of the white cat love and all that other things just because like she did the really cool leg thing and lift. Like, it's just so simplified.
Yeah, they can see things that the grown-ups don't really see, or like very specific. It's like what you said, like they did this little bit somewhere in the corner around there, and then I think grown-ups were just watching Grisabella singing her heart out, while kids might be looking at one cat in the corner doing something funny. And I think also, I think the beauty of Cats is also as well that it's fun to watch it multiple times in your lifetime, because when I was young, I thought Grisabella was boring. I was like, oh, she's gonna sing Memory, and I thought it was a boring song, and I couldn't really relate to her at all. And when I was growing up, it was like, oh my god, I think I feel full. I'm a bit more of a Skimbleshanks nowadays. Like, what's happening? And then watching Cats now, and then I see Grisabella, I'm like, oh gosh, I totally understand her perspective and what she's singing about. And so it's funny how you change in life that changes your perspective on the show.
It's true, and it's not just that, but it's also from a performer. Like, it's one of the few shows you can do the entire time. I remember I had him on the show because many years ago at BroadwayCon, Will Rowland, wonderful actor here in New York, he was on a panel with another one of our podcasts, and they asked the question of like, if you could be in any show throughout your whole career, which one would you want to be in? And it's like everyone paused, and Will just goes, this is easy. It's Cats. You start as this, you know, it's like you could start as a kitten, and then you work your way, and then you do this, and then you do All Around Me, and then you do Gus, and then you retire. Yeah. You know, it's like,
what's true?
You can do this, and you can do it in both, you know, for everybody.
Yeah.
And it is that exact thing, like you're saying, of like, not only do you relate to them differently throughout stages of life, but as a performer, Cats is always in your potential.
Yeah, and hopefully it will always come back, and it'll always kind of be there to go back to. It was quite fun, actually. In the Australian production we just did last year, we had our Gus, Todd McKinney. He played Tom of Brutus in the 80s. And we got Lee Archer playing Jenny Anidots. And she was Demeter in somewhere in the 90s. So it was really fun to have them over and have them back and do these different roles. So
that's
it's
so cool.
Exactly what you say, like, Cats is a show of a lifetime.
Now and forever.
Now
Once joke,
forever,
always a
yeah.
joke. Okay, before we go to some rapid fire, I do want to ask you, I have heard throughout 200 plus episodes a bunch of like Chrissie-isms, I guess I'll call them, where she just drops these like little nuggets of sayings. And so do you remember any of them? Are there any that like you'll never forget from her just kind of like making a comment or making a saying during the rehearsal processes that you've had her a part of?
I think it was one thing she specifically said to me, and when I was setting up South Korea, because of course you go in and you're like, oh, it's a very daunting task to put on the show, and it's a lot of material, and I was like, oh, can I do this? Quite nervous, and like, oh. So it was quite a big task, and then you go in and you get the cast and you try to memorize everything that Chrissie ever said or Gillian said or Trevor said, and try to do the best you can. And then she comes in and it's always very exciting and also scary as hell, because we show what we've done so far, and then it's like a big exam when she comes. And then we start rehearsing, and then I can't remember what we did, and then we did something, and she's like, "Oh no, it should be like this, or the choreography should be like this." And then I was like, "Oh guys, I'm sorry, it's my fault. I taught it wrong." And she was like, "No, don't apologize. Like I know exactly how it is to be in your position, to be assisting somebody, and then because she was assisting Gillian, of course, for a long time.
Yeah.
So I know exactly how it is. So don't apologize." Because there's no need to, something like this, she said. It's like, oh, it was so nice that she said that, because of course I was like, oh, I hope Chrissie likes what I've done with the people and with the cast, and I hope she's satisfied. And I thought it was so kind of her to put me at ease. So it has nothing to do with the show or the story or whatsoever, but I think that's the thing that resonates most with me, what she said.
It's great to hear too, because like you said, you're putting on something that's so well known, that's been done so much, and then you're having one of these like, someone so close to it come in, and you call it an exam, which is like they're here ready to see what you've done.
Like that.
Yeah. But then at the same time, it's like they have such respect for what you're doing and the process, and having gone through it, that they're like, they know how daunting this is and how big of a task it is.
Because they've been in my shoes as well, so they know. So that's it was very nice for her to mention that. Yeah, I was very happy with that little remark. I think it will stick with me.
That's amazing. Is there anything I haven't asked you before we go to the rapid fire that you're like, again, someone needs to hear this about cats?
I don't know. I've got tons of stories, but I think
Let's hear some of them. What's the things you'll never forget? Like, what are the funny ones or the memorable ones?
Well, one thing I would never forget is it's a thing we did throughout the whole season. Me and it was a German tent tour. It was me and Marlene de Vries, my friend, who played Ramboteser, and we got along so well. It was, I think we didn't have one argument throughout the whole year. And just before you go on for Mungojerrie Ramboteser, before the song, you hide in the car boot, and just hiding before you come out. And it's quite a hard number. It's not easy to do, and also because we were not German, and it wasn't German, and like in the tent tour, because we played in the round, so it was really hard to play all around, and the stage was huge. So it was hard. It was a really hard number. So we could be quite nervous, and we made up this thing. This sounds very dirty, by the way. We made up this thing, and we always tried to fart in the car boots just before we went on, and it was the rule, the smellier the fart, the better the number would go. And it was true, because if the fart was really, really smelly, we'd just laugh and be like, oh my gosh, and we would be like so loose and fun to come out. So we would fart our way into the number. So that
was not what I was expecting this to go.
Yeah, I love that. It sounds disgusting, but it worked.
It's kind of. Yeah. I mean, you're playing kind of that like lighthearted number. You need to have some, a looseness to you.
It really helped to I don't know, go into it and be funny and just giggly and up to no good, like very mischievous. So it was that was one of the fun things. And also one thing I also remember, this was in Vienna. And I don't know how it happened, but we didn't have a Cassandra, and they was like, "Oh, what shall we do?" So they, like, me and Joe, the dance captain, we were like, "Well, I can do it." So I played Cassandra for one show, one night only. But of course, I didn't have a costume, and I didn't really have like a girl swing costume, so I only had my raw costumes for all the male cats. But I couldn't wear those because there was already a Skimbleshanks or Mungojerrie. So the costume department got me, and it was always quite last minute as well. So they got me this grayish costume with lots of fluff and all different like leg and arm warmers. And I've got this grey wig on, and I'm kind of like made up my own makeup because there wasn't really like anything to copy. So I was like, okay, let's do it. So I'm just there as Cassandra, and Cassandra is the most beautiful cat in the show. She's so sleek and gorgeous, and I just love watching Cassandra. And then instead of this beautiful, gorgeous creatures, just this ball of fluff, like literally looked like garbage cat. And the thing is, like every time, like one of my classmates looked at me, they would just giggle or laugh because it was just atrocious.
Did you come up with a name for that cat that night?
No, I did not. Well, garbage cat. Yeah.
Just garbage
cat.
Yeah. And you did Cassandra's number, like every dance, like you were in her spot the whole time.
I wouldn't do the girl bits. So so I wouldn't be in Macavity, for instance, or in the little bit in the girl bits in the ball, for instance. But I did the magic trick and everything. So it was really fun. It was really fun to do. But it was also like, on the spot, like I can't move as exotic as she does because I don't look exotic. How can I try to make this work like how I look? And then my classmates looking at me and laughing. It was interesting. It was an interesting show.
When you have those kind of like very random one-offs, does anybody ever try to capture it? Like, does someone? I mean, this is still like the edge of being able to record it quickly. You know, like this is. Do you have any footage of that anywhere?
No, I've got some pictures of me in the hallway, but I think
that's it. Okay.
I think it's good. I don't think this should go on. This shouldn't be on anybody's phone anywhere.
I'm fascinated by that because I'm like, there are so many of these. Like, that's a really cool part of theater is that like no two performances are the same, and like when you get these like very odd scenarios, that's like a lot of the superfans' dream is to see some of these things, and it's like. Now I'm like, let's capture some of that, like the really strange, something that you couldn't have thought of happened, and this is how you still put the show on.
Yeah, well, maybe yes, but maybe it's good that they're never seen.
We can add the photo. We can just add the photo to everything. But any other fun stories?
Ooh, fun story. Oh yeah, well yeah, I've got loads of them. One fun story is actually this is the German Tentor again. Like me. And I think it was John Baldos who played Coricopet. We used to play this game, especially in, you've got the blackout in the end of Macavity before Mister comes on. And we're quite in the dark for quite a long time. So we're not very well seen by the audience. And like all the also the male performers are wearing like a dance belt, like basically a dance thong. And we used to give each other like wedgies. Like we just like grab each other and like pull dance belt like the thong and just click. And one time he grabbed my dance belt and pulled it, and then it broke and it just snapped loose. And it was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And I had to play from the whole show, from Mistopheles on till the very end of the show with basically my bits just dangling loose in my costume. And I'm sure nobody in the audience saw it. I don't think anybody would realize, but it's just the weirdest feeling when you have to like, in Mistopheles, like, you skip through the audience and you feel so seen because, I don't know, everything was just there. Because usually it's like quite tight because of this dance belt. Yeah, everything, all the beautiful bits between my legs are just dangling loose. This is also something I will never forget.
I love the fun that, it's like...
I've got weird stories, don't I? Like about just farts and underwear.
But this is where it's like, as someone who works a corporate job, and like this is still like, this is work, but it is fun, and like you have those funds and you have that ability to kind of play around with your castmates and still perform this at a high level, professionally. But I love hearing these stories, because again, it's like, it's just very different than what most people's jobs are.
Yeah, I love working musical theater. It's so much fun.
We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back for more of The Wrong Cat Died. Let's do some rapid fire.
All right.
So if you played a lot of the cats, but if you could go on any cat one night, male, female, it doesn't matter if you could, if you magically have the ability to do it tomorrow, which cat are you going on for?
It will be Bombalurina.
Yeah.
I think I would be a better Demeter though, I think Bombalurina is more fun. And the great thing, like sometimes as assistant dance captain, when I was teaching the show, sometimes you have to, like when you're teaching a Demeter, for instance, you can play the counterpart. So sometimes in rehearsals, I got to play Bombalurina,
so
and I was like, just a tiny little bit, because it's fun, because she's like sassy and sexy, but also like honest, and she does the great bit in like Buster the Jones, and like in she has this little line in Goes About the Glamour Cat, and I think she's just such a fun character. And also because like as a kid, like you don't realize as a kitten you have to crawl all the time. So if you want to get from A to B somewhere on stage, you have to crawl everything, and you're just exhausted. And as Bombalurina, you can just be like walk on two legs and be just sexy, and you're like, and just walk from A to B instead of crawl. So that's it would be Don Bombalurina or Jenny Anydots. I think that'd be so much fun to be like this Debbie Reynolds kind of Ann Miller tap number. Look at me, and a bit bossy as well. I think that I like that about Jenny Anydots, because she's very carrying and she has a lot of heart, but she's also like really bossy, and I like that two sides of her.
Great choices. Favorite and least favorite cat from a personality standpoint. So like, who do you want to hang out with and who is going to bug you?
I think I would love to hang out with Skimbleshanks and Bombalurina.
Yeah.
I think I would only go to not clubbing, but go to like to the bar with them and drink cocktails, or have like an in-night movie night and make cocktails, and we just gossip and share secrets. And I think Skimbleshanks is like, I think it would be like nowadays, it would be like kind of a trolley dolly, like, like a steward in an airplane, because he would travel and he would just tell him all his stories, and I think it would be just exciting with those two. I would definitely hang out with them.
Least favorite, who's bugging you?
Yeah, Alonso.
Alonso.
Yeah, because he's bitchy, and I think because Alonso is a bit insecure, and because he's insecure, he can be quite bitchy, and he's quite vain. So I'd be like, oh, bugger off. Like, I would not be, it's like, oh, give me a bit of more happiness and positivity in the room, and just don't give me these vile looks all the time.
Yeah. Favorite song in the show?
Yeah, this is a Sophie's choice for me. Can I pick two? I just pick two. There's no rules in life. I think the opening, like Jellicle Song for Jellicle Cats, the prologue. Yeah. I think it's one of the best openings of any show ever, musically, and how it's choreographed. Like the build up, because when you go to Cats, you think, oh, Cats is gonna be fun and cute, and I don't know, and then it starts, and you got all those cats coming on one by one, and that one pops up, and that one pops up, and it's quite eerie as well, and it just builds and builds, and you got this section, there's a trapeze, and then they're all singing on a choir, and you got this breakout with like a beautiful canon, all the cats dancing canon, and it's how it's choreographed and built, and the dynamics of the song and of the choreography. I think it's one of the best things in musical theater ever. And also, I don't know, the tune is just what I said before. I think when I listened to it when I was like 8 years old on the original Lowland Cast recording, it's just, I don't know, there's something magical about that song. It was because it keeps also like changing key, and it's just great. And I love Mungojerrie Rumble Teaser. Always when I watch the show, I'm like, yes, here it comes. Yeah. I think also because I think Mungojerrie was always my dream role, but I think it's one of the always, almost the whole show long, all the cats are on stage. And I think it's one of the moments that's just them two. And it's such an intricate number because you have to sing, like, it's quite high as well for the girl and the boy, for the Mungo and the Rumpel. And you have to do all these tricks, and the acting is so intricate, and all the movements are very intricate. Also, when you teach it, it's this very intricate number that's super hard to do. And also, yeah, there has to be this joy in it and this fun. And I don't know, I love the number. And I think it's so much fun to watch and to see the Mungo and the Rumpel and how they bounce off of each other. And yeah, I love that number. It's great.
Them being the only two on stage was actually a aha moment for me later on of like, why was that the number I was stuck in my head most? And it's because I think I was so overwhelmed the first time I saw it by all the stuff happening on stage. And that was the only time my brain got to like relax. And it's like, here's just these two and only follow these two, and it's very fun and you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it's fun to hear you say that, because it's like, there's so many cats at all times around you, and then that's the one moment where it's like, here you go, focus on these two. But
yeah, and I love it as well as performing it. I love it as well because, of course, I love playing Skimbleshanks as well, for instance, but you've got this whole chorus around you and it's much more of an ensemble thing. But it's Mungo Rumpel, it's just you and Rumpel. And if one of you messes up, then that's it. But if you do both very well, it just feels, I don't know, it has this nice kick at the end when everything falls in place and the number went well and the cartwheels went well and you just, bam, you hit the end pose, and it has this, I don't know, I love, it's such a fun number to perform.
Totally. I always ask one fun one. So if you could have one cat that could be your assistant when you're helping Chrissie, which cat would be the best at helping you?
Oh my gosh, which cat?
In the room.
There's, of course, a few contenders. Who would it be? Oh my gosh. It might be just a Skimble, I reckon, because it's nice to have somebody in the room who's a bit more, what do you say, like, in charge. And Skimble, I think he's very good at maintaining order. And and he's very particular as well. So he probably is very good with details and detailing and rehearsing with the cats. And it must be Skimbleshanks.
I thought about this. I have three people in the room, and Skimble's one. Yeah, because Skimble's keeping us on time and organized, and the breaks will happen at the right moment that you need.
Yeah, he would be a great stage manager as well.
Yeah, you've got Bustifer because he's the lead producer, because he's put the money in, so he's sitting in there just overarching, supervising. And then you've got either Gus or Monkish Trap, because you have one of the two of them that's kind of helping with the storytelling.
Yeah, I thought of Monkish Trap, but then I think I would feel intimidated by Monkish Trap.
True, yeah, that's true.
I think he would.
And then maybe Jenny, but she's probably sleeping a little bit too much on the job.
I think she would be sleeping, or she would be really annoying. I mean, just like she would just shout and at everyone all the time. I mean, like if you look at Cats, like because in the story of Cat, she's the one who put on the tap number, which she done brilliantly. But yeah, as assisting me now, she would annoy me. She would annoy me. And I think Gus, I would go for him for like acting advice, like, how would I deal with this? How would I deal with this? Or what do you think of this situation? I would like that would be a good one for the acting point of view.
He's probably too critical though. He's like these young cats. They don't know what they're doing. So
he probably does. He's just probably stepping in and do it himself anyway. Yes, he would just take over.
Totally. Okay, most important question. So I've argued at length on this podcast. I don't think Grisabella is the right Jellicle choice. So I'm asking you, Tommie, not assistant to Chrissie, not staging the show, but you, Tommie, who's your Jellicle choice and why?
Okay, there's two answers to this question. It's like dramaturgically, like Grisabella is the right choice because we're following her, and like it would be weird if it wouldn't be Grisabella. But if you look at the actual story, it should be Gus, because he's really old, and this is probably his last Jellicle ball. I don't think he would survive another year. So it should be Gus. And also for Grisabella, I also think, because it's this whole story about Grisabella and redemption, and that she wants to be back in the group, and then in the end she gets touched by Victoria. So we finally invite her into the group, and she's back into the group, And then we send her up to the Heaviside Lair.
That's
so I
my
think
entire argument.
Yeah, so
My
I think,
entire
so
argument.
I think like Grisabella should at least be like another year with us in the group, and we should send Gus up there. So yeah, logically it would be Gus or Macavity, because he is just an evil cat, and we just
You just need to get rid of him.
But I thought of this as well. I changed your question a bit, and this answer doesn't make any sense storyline. But I was like, who would be the most fun? Who would be most fun to send up there? This doesn't make any sense. But I would love to send Griddlebone up there.
Griddlebone.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'll tell you why. Do you know who Griddlebone is?
I do.
Yeah.
But you'd be the first Griddlebone vote if I'm making that your vote.
Because it doesn't make any sense, because she's not really a real character in Cats anyway. She's more like a dream sequence character that Jelly Loram plays Griddlebone. So it makes zero sense. But I love Griddlebone because she's sassy and she has this burlesque kind of, I think, Mae West kind of attitude to her. So it's like, oh, if we send her up to the Heaviside Lair, it would be this Busby Berkeley number, like this Hollywood MGM, like, with like, I don't know, feathers, and it would be a whole like production number that Griddlebone probably would do going up to the Heaviside Lair, and probably, I don't know, I think it would be great. Like, I think that would be the most fun one, and with feathers, because she has this feathery costume and it's very fluffy and like a big old school Hollywood MGM production. This does, I know this like storyline.
I love it.
Doesn't make any sense, but it would be fun, wouldn't it?
Well, you've said exactly what I agree with, which is like, I want Grisabella to have another year with her family.
Yeah, she should, because because I always feel for, like, sometimes when I talk about Grisabella with the actresses, I almost tear up because her background story is so sad. And all she wants is to go back in the group that she once belonged and that she once part of. And then she's finally back. And then we... Bye. Good.
Yeah.
Have fun. Ciao. It would be so much nicer to have her for 1 year to be back in the group.
Yeah.
But it was...
Well, I'm picking Griddlebone for you. I'm going to put that down as your vote because I do keep track.
Yeah.
I think that'll be the...
Yeah, Griddlebone would be fun.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I like the idea. This has been fun. How can people stay in touch with you on social media and whatever your next Jellicle contract is?
Oh, I hope so. Ooh, fingers crossed, everyone. Well, I'm on Instagram. It's very hard to maybe spell. It's at Tommie Luyben, which is spelled Tommie, so Tommie with IE, and you got Luyben.
Oh,
Good luck.
We'll tag that too. We'll put it in the description.
It's a hard
too.
name.
Well, this has been so fun. It's been great to have you on. Hear all the stories, the theories, the fun, memories from the show, and I hope you get to do it in English finally, so you can round out.
Too. I hope
is there any other language? What's the next language if not?
Ooh, like something Scandinavian would be cool, I reckon.
Okay.
Yeah. I love the Scandinavian languages. I don't speak a word of it, but that would be fun. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be good.
You'll have to get it staged there somewhere so you can do that.
Yeah. Who knows? Well, fingers crossed. You never know. Well, thank you so much for having me. It was fun. I had a good time. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, and thanks everyone else for listening to this episode of The Wrong Cat Died, the podcast breakdown of the catastrophe. To follow along, you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Rehearsal Podcasts. Follow us on social media at The Wrong Cat Died. Check our website, thewrongcatdied.com.